الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. قل رب زدني علما. قال الإمام النووي رحمه الله تبارك وتعالى ونفعنا بعلومه في الدارين. قال: وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: آية المنافق ثلاث: إذا حدث كذب، وإذا وعد أخلف، وإذا اؤتمن خان. متفق عليه. So continuing with the chapter of the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to uphold the trust. And yesterday a few ayats in that regard were mentioned. And as for the ahadith, the first one mentioned is the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, stating that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said something to this effect: Ayatul munafiq thalath, the sign or the indicator. He's given something to take care of, a trust of whatever type. As we mentioned earlier, it could be a trust of something tangible, it could be a trust of something, a secret, or whatever. So, if he's given a trust, whatever that might be, he betrays that trust or fails to keep it. So these are the signs that a person is munafiq. There's another hadith that mentions four signs, and that is that if he gets in an argument with someone, fajr, he blows up, he goes ballistic, as they say these days, So now, there's a very important point here. So these are indicators. So if we find somebody having these qualities, somebody tells a lie, or he breaks his promises, these are really terrible things, and these are very great breaches of iman. And if he's given trust and he breaks it, so can we say that this person's a munafiq? No. It's a sign that a person, or it's a sign, and in other riwayats it mentions that these are qualities of nifaq until the person leaves it. And so these are indicators that there is a type of hypocrisy. Now there's two branches of hypocrisy, if you will, and one is hypocrisy which is a hypocrisy of belief, and we call this an nifaq al-aqadi. So in the aqidah there's a hypocrisy. In other words, the fellow is showing that he's a Muslim, but he has no belief in it whatsoever. He's not actually, he doesn't believe it, he's a Muslim, he's not into Islam at all. That is the nifaq which will, cause damnation, eternal damnation in the fire of hell. As a matter of fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the munafiqeen fi ad-dark al-asfali min an-nar, that these type of munafiqs will be in the bottom of Jahannam. Bottom of Jahannam, riyadu billahi ta'ala. Then we have another nifaq. It's a hypocrisy, what we call a nifaq al-amali. It's an active hypocrisy of action. So the person might be a mu'min, the person has iman, but he's hypocritical in terms of his actions. So this is probably more what the hadith is pointing to. But at the same time, a person who is an outright and total munafiq, these type of indicators will also be, they'll be visible. Now, last point that is very, very important. Is this hadith a hadith which we will use to analyze other people and search out other people's faults, or is it a hadith which we should use to search out our own faults? This is the thing. We're usually very keen to find the faults in everybody else and point it out and and accuse, but we're very lax in searching our own faults and pointing out. So therefore, as the riwayat mentions, rahimullah imran shaghalat uyubuhu an uyub an-nas. May Allah have mercy on that person, that his own faults keep him busy for worrying about the faults of the other people. So we need to actually use this hadith to analyze our own actions. When I speak, do I tell lies? If I make promises, do I keep them? We Muslims, I tell you, it's horrific. Everybody else, if you call somebody, they'll call you back. If you leave a message, send them an email. We We Muslims tend to be the most lax in this. This is really critical. So we should be the number one people in these things. So if we give a promise, we keep it. And if we're given a trust, we're very careful, to uphold that. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and all of us, the tawfiq to, rid ourselves by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and His tawfiq of all of these, very critical, sins, and make us among the people who have iman both in our hearts and in our actions. Ameen. Tumma amin wa akhir da'wana. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.